fights. There were fights between my parents, and I was always coming in between of them. So I was young, I want to sleep, and I always heard them yelling to each other, and I want to sleep, and that's the only thing I wanted. So what happened is I go every fucking night. I came down to get my dad, please come to a booth. So I want to sleep. We haven't closed it. We have to put it in front of the door, so she was not coming in at night. So to have a little bit of an idea what happened over there, don't want to tell too much about what she did, but there are things happened. So I don't speak to her anymore. Not planned to ever. Never ever. And that's where it's all started.
If you have to say one last thing to the one who is watching, what would that be?
Advice to you is to go out, explore the world, and see what you really like to do. Do you like to be free and start your own business, or do you want to have a stable job and have some side trips? That's also possible. It's all okay. But go to the other side of the world. Go to other places, connect with people, and then you're learning so many lessons.
From the press to traveling the world, from PayPal holds and being a dropshipper without knowing that you were a dropshipper, to now owning a women activewear store that actually works. Listen to everything Raymond has to say for you to learn from.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, first of all.
Of course.
And it's Raymond. And
Raymond?
It's, yeah, I can leave the D.
You can leave the D, yeah, but it's a Dutch name, so then...
No, even in Dutch.
Even in Dutch?
Even in Dutch, it's...
I don't know my own language
Raymond
anymore.
It's Raymond.
Raymond?
But, yeah, call me Ray, whatever, it's easier to do.
What up, Ray? That's how the Americans call you, don't you?
If I introduce myself, it's Raymond. But most of the times I will, just call me Ray, because that's easier for them sometimes. Raymond is not that hardest, but if you're going on travel, you're always getting an easier name to.
Yeah, that's the thing with Job. It's already easy, so that's nice. Okay, let's dive into it. Because you were started, the whole journey for you started when you were around 9 years old. Well, at least that's how it kickstarted.
The roots are there.
The roots
of everything what I have done in my entire life till now. I'm 26 this day. It's born there because of my parents. It was, they got divorced, and it wasn't really bad one. So I've learned a lot of lessons from that, but also when I was a little bit older, around 15, 16, even 18, 19, and even nowadays I'm struggling a lot with that. But the roots are like, for my income related to the divorce, is that I have to take care of my own stuff. So there was no money for doing stuff. I had good. I had food, I have a roof mat. The basics were paid, but everything extra. So if I want to do something on a party, not that I was partying at 15, but for example, if I want to buy something, and then I had to buy it myself, and that's where it's all started. So everything goes back with more life. You have some key points in your childhood when you're young, and that brings you with you all life long.
And that started for you when you were between 9 and 12 years old with the divorce of your parents.
Everything I think what I'm doing now is based or related to that period.
Yeah, because you say it was a really bad one. If you want to dive into that a bit, like what made it a bad divorce?
Fights. There were fights between my parents, and I was always coming in between of them. So I was young. I want to sleep. I don't know, at 8 or 9 that you were going to bed at that age. I don't know nowadays, but at that time it was normal. And I always heard them yelling to each other, and I want to sleep, and that's the only thing I wanted. So what happened is I go every fucking night. Sorry for my language, but every
you can
night,
say whatever you want.
It's I came down to get my dad, please come to a booth. So I want to sleep. Even then, later on, he was sleeping in my room together with me. And to give an example, we haven't closed it. We have to put it in front of the door, so she was not coming in at night. So to have a little bit of an idea what happened over there,
rough.
It was really rough, and even how she approached me, what she did to me, I don't want to tell too much about what she did, but there are things happened. So I don't speak to her anymore. I not planned to ever. I haven't actually a half sister from her. I've always said if she's old enough to have an own opinion, then I'm open to meet her. Otherwise, she is too much influenced by her. So she knows only one part of the story probably now, and I have no idea which part she is telling to her. So once she's old enough and she will reach out to me, then I'm open to talk. If she want to join me somewhere in the world, but no, I'm open to talk then. But to her, never ever.
So it was that bad of a divorce.
For me, yes.
Okay, that's rough. But then I'm curious, like, what impact did that had on you? That you still feel or experience right now?
There is, even now, if I'm talking about it, I like, I don't know if it's chicken.
The goosebumps.
Yeah, I don't know. Chicken wings. No, I don't know how you call it. But even now, I feel angry if I'm thinking about it. I feel, even I had a lot of processes with talkings, with therapy, with reading books. Even nowadays, angry isn't like there. Like, why the hell should you do that to your child? Like, why? Nothing in my brain can relate things to each other.
Can comprehend like
nothing at all. So when I was 15, I think it was maybe early, like 14, 15, but when I was like a puber. Yeah. I had a shield for myself. So everything that comes to me and that feels offended, I was like going straight in. So I was
always ready to fight.
Almost. I was always in fight modus. Like yeah, I think so. And that's why I had a difficult time on my mid school or second school. I say that.
Yeah. In the Netherlands, you have this really weird system.
Yeah.
Where you have like your primary school, and then you have your high school, and depending how smart you are, you have like an extended version of high school, and then you can go to university, or your high school is a bit longer, and then you can directly go to university. It's a weird system, but it's different for everyone. Were you a smart cookie or not? Or were you in the extended version of high school?
I didn't want to learn. I was 15, so do the math. No, I was not stupid, but I saw my brother. I was playing football at that time at high level. And I had always ambition to make something from my football with that. But so I saw my brother learning as he was like a smart cookie. He was really smart. He is still. I saw that with the door was open and he was behind his desk learning. And I was like, I want to be free. I don't want to learn. I don't want to do anything about school. And that moment I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to dive in the books and study something. No, I'm going to do my own stuff and make something. And I'm always said and still saying that I will be richer than my brother. He's pilot now, so it's
a hard gap because pilots earn good money. So.
Oh man, I know what he's earning, but brother, that is for this period in the life you're in. He's like 2 years older than me, and that's the difference. I'm living here in Bali at this moment of speaking, but he has a house like in the Netherlands. You know, the house prices are really expensive.
House prices are insane.
His house is huge, like good location. I know what's worth. Insane, and he's like 28. I'm 26. It's like it feels confusing because he has everything aligned in his life, and I'm just working my ass off like 100 hours to make something out of it, and it's good.
It's just another path that you're walking, but you'll see in the end.
For sure, but as we started as an entrepreneur, you start with zero. Maybe second year, maybe even losses. Like the first couple of years, you can make losses. But once you hit the break-even point, it can go fast. I've experienced that with my stores. It can go really, really fast. And then you're speaking about real numbers. So if you calculate that about year-round, it's talking about real numbers.
But that's with e-com in general, right? That the most of the numbers are hit in certain months.
Yeah.
And certain months, it's just for you, the goal to break even, to stay stable, to get all the systems in place. So that's why you're here right now. It's what you already told me. To get all the systems in place, to stay break even, to get ready for the good months that are coming. to skill the heck out of everything.
It's I agree, but
I'm not an ecom guy. You're the expert.
Yeah, okay,
Just
but
repeat your words.
yeah, true. But what I'm thinking is, I have experience. I only can talk about experience I have. So my past years, let's say this company is started 2022 here as well in Bali.
The activewear women.
Yeah, this
women
company,
activewear.
like this,
Yeah.
I'm only focusing on this company and nothing doing anything else, because all my attention need to go here. And a good one is on how do I say it? The shining object syndrome.
Shiny objects in
We have to talk about it later because it's really there. It's really there.
It's funny because everyone I talk to say it.
Yeah, the shining object is like a crazy thing. But you have periods. So my first period was like building. So Q1 I was here in December. So that was the moment I was starting it. And you have to build a shop, photos, and the plan to make everything. The first months, January, February, March, the first money I was earning in April. So that was like 4 months later. So that is the first phase of your company. You started from zero. You have an idea. You're going to work it out. You're failing. Then you have some luck, I will say, because you have no idea what you're doing. You're trying stuff out, and sometimes it's working. And the lesson you have to learn is what is working. And that's later on. You're trying to recognize and improve. But then we came to a phase in April, May, where I made my earnings. Then I still had any clue of what I'm doing in this brand, because dropshipping and branding is so much different. The difference is with dropshipping you can test 100 products and see what is working and then scale that up to the moon. And okay, if it's not working anymore, you can switch to another product. It's not the way I should do it, but it's possible. That's the original way of doing dropshipping. With a brand, you have a product, and the product you have to make it work. So there are multiple angles you can take in advertisement, in static ads, video ads. And to make that work, it needs so much effort. And
because people also need to get a feeling by the brand.
It's
they
a brand.
They need to want it.
You don't sell the product, you're selling the benefits of the product. So for example, we are selling leggings. We don't sell leggings. We're selling like a confidence boost or booty pump. That's what girls want. So my angle of advertising is it's like focus on the booty. Yeah, it's what's selling.
Fair enough.
So you have to figure that out, and pricing it's really difficult. It's your service is not on point, because how we are doing it is I think it's great for startups. So if you want to own an activewear or just a clothing brand or anything, I started.
Most people want jewelry stores like that.
I don't know
that's the
why,
thing.
but it can be a good one. But if I said there are like thousands of people who want to run a fashion clothing brand, but how to start, they don't know. I will say what I did is a print on demand, and made the best out of it. What I did, I was searching for one supplier who can add logos, hang tags, product bags, shipping bags, all branded, but only once the order is in. So you keep the dropshipping way, but you have everything branded.
And you already went to China for that, because we spoke a bit about that earlier.
Yeah, but
not today, but
I wasn't in
that's another. We dive into that as well. Let's go back to when you were 15, because then you started dropshipping without you knowing that you were dropshipping, and that's also when quite a heavy depression kicked in.
Yeah. Should we start with the way of dropshipping without knowing?
We start with the way of dropshipping without.
You have to earn money to spend money.
Yeah,
or you have daddy,
especially
like,
because
giving you.
Your parents divorced, so
Exactly. There was not room, a lot of room to buy things, but so I had to do it myself. What I did, there was like a hype of the Dutch caps, those shirts. I don't know if Dutch, maybe someone can tell us, but
there was in the Netherlands. There was at one point there was a hype that a specific brand for a cap was like really a thing everyone wanted. Everyone wanted to wear like such a cap.
Years ago. It's like I was 10 years maybe.
16?
Yeah, 9 years ago, something like that. I was 15, so it's like 11 years ago.
Long time. Okay.
Long time ago. So, but that moment, I was buying. AliExpress was there already, but the only thing about AliExpress was the shipping time was 30 days. So, people didn't really do dropshipping at that moment, but I was actually. When you had those caps, I was buying them, shipping them to me in like a bulk with 30, 100 caps in total, and I was selling them on Marketplace.
It's like a. I already translated that because I know it's gonna go. It's like a second-hand place in the Netherlands. It's called Marktplaats.
It's a Dutch name.
It's a really Dutch thing as well, and it's like a second-hand store online. That if you, for example, have a couch and you want to get rid of it, you can put it on the second-hand marketplace and you can sell it there.
For example, you can take Facebook Marketplace.
And if you're Dutch, the second-hand place right now, Marktplaats, it's really cheap to run ads on that. So I talked to multiple entrepreneurs in the Netherlands that run ads on there because it has higher conversion rate, cost is lower than Facebook ads, and it works better. You reach more people. So if you're selling cars or something, that's the way to go. Just for for the Dutch people.
I have never done that. I've never run ads there, but
it's just for the people who are in the Netherlands. It's good to know.
If you have stock left somewhere, maybe in your back room, in your back house.
So you're selling. You were selling the caps there.
I was selling the caps there, but that was on Marketplace. But what I did actually later was GoPro. You had GoPro 1, GoPro 2 at that time. I think even was 1. You got mounts and like accessories. What I did, I was making a bunch of advertisements in like post on Marketplace. Okay, you can buy this for 30 euros. And it was for me 12 euros to send it to them. The only thing was always in the description, it takes 30 days till it arrives. I had no clue about what it actually was, what I was doing. I was just like selling, people were buying it for me and I was like, oh, look at this, that. I'm sending it directly to the customer. I will never see the product and they are happy. It was really fun.
Were they happy?
Yeah, they were. Like it was.
So
really
you were
good.
lucky that it was a good supplier.
I had it myself. I was at that time. I was doing YouTube, playing football because I loved it. I was inspired by some big channels, of course, who were playing football as well. So I was with my camera in my back shooting on the goal. So I had those accessories myself, and I was happy with that. So that's why I was deciding. Okay, I'm going to sell this on Marketplace. Yeah, well, let's call it.
Yeah, the second-hand store.
Second-hand store, and I was making some money out of it. Not a lot.
Yeah.
But it started all there.
Yeah. So it first started with the caps. That was a hype. Then you sold them there. Normally they were like 30 euros, and you sold them for 15.
Yeah, something. 15 or 12, 15 euros. I buy them for 2, 3 euros.
So big margins there. And then you just jumped on the hype. So that was also kind of drop shipping, more in the e-com style because you shipped it to your own place.
Yeah. Fast shipping.
Fast shipping. And then you also
ordered today, arrived tomorrow.
And then you also at some points did the thing for the GoPros.
Yeah.
And that was drop shipping without you knowing that you were drop shipping before it was a thing.
Yeah, I was 15 without the business
register number.
Yeah, the KVK in Dutch.
Yeah.
I was 15, 16, you know. You didn't even know what it was.
You just made money.
Yeah, I've tried to. You tried to.
And that was also the time that you had a big-ass depression.
Yeah, that was also that time. You know, it's really hard to think about which time frame was exactly what. But you know the period, how things went with the football team. I had a lot of I don't have any friends anymore like that. Like I don't know how I said it, if people don't like you because the way you're doing, and they were totally right, I have to say, because I was an asshole. Like if something happens like this, I was like fighting in fight modus because I had a shield for myself. I built my shield because I have to protect. At that moment, I was like, okay, I have to protect myself because I was hurting by the person who has to,
who by nature needs to love you the most.
Exactly. And
was the one who was hurting you.
Yeah, and that's not how it should be. And I know that it happens a lot in the world, or the dad, or the mom. I've spoken to a lot of people who has the same experience. But that time is, so many things happened. I was a pooper. I was fighting all the time with my dad, always yelling, and my brother was like a calm person, like totally the other side of mine. And it was really a hard time. Like, so many things happened. And
How did you deal with that depression at that moment? Because you said it was like the most heavy. It came back later as well, but then it was less heavy. So how did you deal with that?
Therapy, a lot. You know what it is, and you don't know that you are in depression as it's the first experience. So my dad was always telling, go to a person, go talk with someone, and I was like, no, why should I do that?
Like denying everything.
Yeah, I was not recognizing the problem. If you don't recognize the problem, you cannot solve it. That's with everything you do in life. If you don't recognize the problem, it's not your fault, because you don't see it. You don't see the problem. So.
Yeah.
But then something happened. You know it, but you're not gonna tell them. I was going back home at that moment, and I was like crying as hell. I was screaming. I was on my bike. I remember it so good. I went home and I was like, okay, I want to have help. I need help, because otherwise even now I get tears, you know. Otherwise I will not survive it. And I knew that I was, I don't know, ready, but it was a long period. I don't know exactly which age I got that help, or 16 or 15. It doesn't really matter. But that person helps me a lot.
And it was like the really dark time. Yeah, I know it, but we're not gonna dive into that. It was, let's say, a breaking point.
Mm-hmm. A breaking point, exactly.
It was a breaking point, and that's when you realized, fuck.
It's empty. Yeah, no, we don't have a bottle or anything, but that's a moment.
But how would you say, like, if people are in such a situation that they had some childhood experience that were just really shitty, and they have messed up thoughts, and they have messed up things going on the side of their head, because that's what a depression is, right?
Yeah.
How can you recognize that to get help earlier? Because it helped you a lot.
Difficult one, because every person is different, and I cannot tell.
What was it for you? That
for me it was.
You wish you
would have
heard.
If I look back to it, it was that I was crying a lot. I was yelling a lot. I was angry on everything. I don't want to be there. I think the best one. Do you have one? Okay, sometimes you're crying. Even now I'm crying. Who cares? I'm a man, but who cares? Even now I'm crying. If I'm struggling, like working 100 hours a week and something is not working out for weeks, then I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, but that's heavy.
Bro, it's like mental. It's a mental game. But
Definitely.
back to how you recognize it. I think one of those reasons, one of those.
Or all of them.
Or all of them, then you're fucked. But it's for real. It's like a real thing. And depression is all over, especially I think now with the young people. They are only on the smartphone. I think the quality of life there back in the days was better. Like everything was back in the days better.
Yeah, but you actually went outside to play some football with friends. Like all of my youth, and I'm a bit younger than you, but all of my youth.
Even you?
I always was outside.
Yeah.
I always was outside, building things, doing stuff with boys around the neighborhood, you know, just.
I was always playing football, always.
I was really bad at soccer, so I was the worst. But I had fun, you know, and that was what it was about for me, like having fun with friends, going outside. Do
you remember that? It remembers me now, when I was a young child. He had a guy, you didn't really like him, but he had got something, a gadget or something that you liked. So he was going there and inviting him to play because you want to play with the gadgets, you know. But those kind of things, those happen. But
yeah, but it's also like when you're a child and someone has like a really cool Lego set. Let's say Lego,
Yeah, okay.
because that was for me. I was always building with Lego, and then you had a friend who had better Lego than you. You don't really liked the guy, but you wanted to play with his Lego.
Yeah.
So that's like, well, in a way,
It all comes with efforts.
adults still do that in business. Like sometimes you do business with
yeah, for sure.
someone you
For
don't really
sure.
like, but you just need something from it. So in
Yeah.
a way, people are still children.
If
I
they
guess,
have something
but
to offer you, you're willing to spend time or even invest or give them money, even you don't like them. That's how life goes, I guess.
yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean. With it. It's exactly like that, right? What you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you got some help.
Yeah.
Things get better
Yeah.
over years, and
There was always one friend, and I don't know if you're watching, but there was always one friend, and he's still there. I don't speak to them often, but you know that one guy that if there is something, you can go to him, and that guy helps me. He knows everything, but
I made that guy my business partner. So.
no, that's actually also good. You know, you speak to him often, but this a lot of people have them. The best friends are the one that you don't speak often.
Yeah.
Like you can count on them. If there is something, you can go to them and talk with them, and really you have to appreciate them. Really have to.
Yeah, it's like everyone knows someone that you don't talk to for a while, but from the moment you talk to each other, it's like back at square one. Just
Yeah,
back-
it doesn't matter.
it
But
does
also,
not matter.
it comes with what are his interests. It's aligned with you. So he's a CEO of a company, and I have my own company. But so you can talk about that. We like football. We have played football a lot together. Never in the same team, but like in free time. He was actually on the goalkeeper when I was filming myself with YouTube. So actually we filmed as well together. I was 14 when I was meeting him, but he's still like there. And those friends are like the most valuable.
solid. But that's I think relations in general. If you have a good connection with someone, good relations with someone, I always say life, happiness is an outcome. It's not a goal on itself. That's my belief in it. But you can create that outcome if you have your wealth in order. So if you can just get around without having a big headache and worry about money all the time. But that's not the most important one. If you have relations, if you have good relations, if you're actually being of benefit to others, like are you making an impact in the world? I think a lot of people have that as well inside of them. And if you're mentally and physically healthy, if you have those 4 key points in order, I think happiness will be an outcome. But that's
Exactly,
my
but
perspective.
the one is never going without the other. So you cannot, as I've been in a lot of trouble with money when your business is failing, you're technical, I say that, feet,
Broke.
bankrupt. Yeah,
Bankrupt.
bankrupt. Like I wasn't really but my debts were more than my credit. So technical, you're like bankrupt. But those moments are like,
Fuck.
they are so heavy. You're crying like a baby, man.
Yeah, but I think especially in dropshipping, that's really hard because then you can go.
It wasn't even dropshipping. It was with this brand even, like 2 times. Like that's how it goes. You have, for example, April, May, June, and then it goes up, and then you have maybe 3 months, 4 months where you have high cost, and you're trying to advertise with losses, and you're making debts, and it can go fast. I told you, like the first phase of the company, if you are 4 months building a company with people around you, we're paying them in 2,000-3,000 a month. Those is 12,000 euros what you are paying. You have your cost of living. So let's say you spend 2K. No, I was living in Lisbon at that moment and I was traveling. So let's say 2.5K, 4 months. So that is like 24K in just 3 months.
That's a lot.
So
Yeah.
it can go very, very fast. You can make it easy, but you can also lose it quite easy.
Yeah, making money can go fast, but losing it can go even faster.
If you don't have control, and that's a really, really, really good lesson I've learned myself now, is to track all of my finances. So I have a sheet, I have a profit loss sheet for my company, and I have just like a personal spending schedule even as well. I'm scheduling the month preparing myself. Okay, what am I going to cost? What do I have to pay this month? I track everything, like my daily expenses, to see, okay, is there something going wrong here? Where is the money exactly going to? Because if you make a lot of money and you don't know where you spend it on, and yeah, you will be fucked anyway.
And you did it in Excel or Notion or?
Actually, it is in Google Sheets, but it's connected to my Notion.
Nice.
So I built it last week. A friend of mine that I met here, he was working everything with Notion, like his total business, his personal life, and I was rebuilding that. I was like, okay, interesting. How do you do that? And now everything is in one place. That's really great because as an entrepreneur, you had this like going here, here, here. And
I'm trying to integrate Notion in my life, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I'm still learning because I'm watching a lot of videos, like everything learn. It's just watching a video, okay, how to implement things. Now in this case, it's Notion. How can I implement Notion in my daily way of working? And maybe we're going to talk about that later about the company. It's just a system. The company is a system. Your life, see yourself as a company as well. You have to earn money. So
Definitely.
So you're a business yourself. So what you can do is create your own system. In this case, I'm trying to do that in Notion. To create your own system in health, in money, but also with talks. Maybe you have something that's coming up. Someone is talking to you, give you an idea for something, and just take your Notion. Now, you got an app on your phone as well, and you just put it in, and you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I was reading a book about focus. I don't know which book it was called, but it was in Spain last year about focusing. You have an X amount of capacity in your brains, and if you have to think about things, a lot of things, it takes every small piece for focus. So in the end, you have not your full attention there where you want it to have, because you have so many things, unprocessed things in your head. So to keep that clean, it's a good idea to have a Notion or start with a notebook. But Notion is, in my eyes, I think.
It's really nice because you can connect everything to each other. You can also integrate your Google Calendar into your Notion. Yeah. You can. It's really cool.
It should be an affiliate, man.
Fuck. But I'm really bad. I'm still integrating it in my life. But then at some point, so you overcome depression. Then at 16, 17, you were just in high school, doing things.
Went better.
Not
good, but better.
And then at 18, it all came back.
Not that hard as it was, but I was really, really down at the moment. But I knew a little bit more about how the steps I have to take to come out of it. And talking with someone is helping a lot. But there's a weird system in the Netherlands that you cannot go to the same person as you was talking in the first period.
Really?
Yeah, if it's like by the government paid, then not. So
Okay.
if it's like private, it doesn't matter. But if she was like from the government, I guess, I was not allowed to talk anymore. Like, it was really weird because I wanted that person, but does make sense. And so I had another person, but connection is everything, and the connection was not really, really there. It was helping me because I always remember that's always when I'm traveling, and I need to draw something at that time. And I'm really bad at it. But I needed to draw something, and it was like a path between the dark trees, and it was really dark over there, and I can see it still. But there's one path going to a white beach with blue sea, clear blue water. That reminds me everywhere I go I'm traveling, when I go to the Philippines, when I went, or Koh Lipe in Thailand, great spot. the water is so clear blue with clear white sand. Those places always remember me to the hard times when I was somewhere between the dark trees and everything. But it was one path that leads you to the most beautiful spot. There is with palm trees, actually. Instead of,
It's always, I think I've talked about that in a couple of podcasts as well with other entrepreneurs that I talk to, and always you need to go through shit. You need to go through the trenches. And that's also what I'm experiencing myself, even though I'm just a starter. You need to go through the shit to get to the good places. I'm even going through shit right now. Like
everyone has something going on. And that's always, I don't judge people on what they experience, because for everyone it's different. Everyone can, for me something it can be heavy, but for someone else it can be like, oh, it's just that. But it can be a really big thing for someone else.
Yeah.
So don't judge anyone about that, because if you got judged by someone else while you're struggling with something, it can even struggling more than.
Yeah, but like the things you experienced within your childhood are heavy. Like I think those things are heavy just by
in my eyes they are, but I cannot say
by
for
a concept. For most people, if they would hear it, they would be heavy.
Yeah.
But I also talked to someone where I heard the story. I didn't know exactly where it came from, and the guy said that he was traumatized because his mom left him alone when she was going to the store without telling him. And that felt for him like really fucking heavy. You know, and that's like, maybe you can judge for, okay, but why? It sounds really stupid. But for him it felt really heavy, but you don't know.
I heard it a lot actually. Like people have an experience like when it was way young, and you cannot judge. So I'm not allowed to judge that, and if I have an opinion or not. And if what for someone is heavy, you don't know. You really don't know.
You never know what it's like to be in someone's shoes, else you would have been wearing them. That's how someone told it to me once. And
I'm really bad at quotes, I have to say. I'm bad at about recognizing people's names. I don't know any actor, movie, anything. I'm not.
It's just some quotes, they just stick and then they come up, and then but this is one that just was
I was
stuck.
thinking about yesterday in my bed. I was like, okay, hard times create strong men. Good times create weak men.
Hard times create strong men create good times create
Exactly.
weak men create hard times.
Exactly. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's the riddle.
That's what I mean. Like, I was thinking about it, and yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of good times, so shit is coming. Just know that. Be prepared for
Be
that.
aware that actually, if you feel like it's going well all the time, you have to take more attention, because something is gonna happen. Something is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's always, yeah, that's actually like you don't be in your comfort zone. Okay, yeah, sometimes it's good to have some peace and be relaxed and enjoy your moment where you're in. But my experience of things that go well, example, business is going well, and my state of being is directly connected to my results in my business. If it's going too well, I'm always like, okay, what is going to happen? You're taking more attention to around like things. Okay, what's going wrong? Maybe supply is fucked up, anything, or your shipping rates are exploding in one or the other day. It can be happening, and then something you have to be aware is in the good times.
It's like, yeah, it's just what type of season are you in? Maybe.
What do you mean by that?
What type of season are you in? Like sometimes you're in a good season. You're just in a, like right
does
now
you
you're
mean,
in a
like,
season
bright
of
season?
that you're doing a lot. That's also a season. That's why you were here, to be prepared for the months that are coming. That's what you told me at least. And you can say also when you have a really good season and things are going really well, I think that's also a season, I guess. You can also call it a season. Just know shit will hit the fan.
Yeah,
Definitely. Like
it's always coming.
if
It's
things
always
are
coming.
if things are going really good, things
aware.
will go bad at some point.
Yeah.
And let's just be aware of the season that you're in, even if it's like, okay, now I'm in a
I
preparing
remember-
season. Or
I remember a story from Samuel Onoa, famous Egan guy. He was on a podcast as well, but that he was saying, okay, we make a bunch of money, and he was at Curacao, as I remember, and he was checking his bank account. He was like, "Where's the money?" He didn't take attention to it anymore. He was spending, and I cannot tell his whole story, but it was on his podcast where he told it, or it doesn't matter. But the story got the same. Of the purpose of the story is the same. Like, be aware in good times that it can go wrong.
yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned Curacao, because that's also one of the turning points.
Oh, yeah.
Where your love for traveling starts.
Yeah.
Because you had 2 points. One was when you were younger, you
Yeah.
always needed to plan every trip for your dad with the lowest cost possible, with the highest, like,
I'm still there, like to get the most value out of the money. That's what I have. Even if I go there now, if I go around here in Bali or wherever in the Netherlands, it's super overpriced. If it's overpriced for my feeling, like Unox bread with the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I don't know if other people know that, but the Hema, it's at this time it's super expensive. Like €4, €5 for a little piece of wurst.
Yeah,
It's the worst.
just sausage.
Sausage show it fucking up. Oh, good, this one. This is some words. Sorry, man. Keeping a Dutch man. Oh yeah, voiced. Oh fuck. Okay,
Sausage, yeah.
Sausage.
Crazy expensive sausage for
Yeah.
€5 because it has
doesn't make
some
sense
brand
for
on
me.
it.
It doesn't make sense for me. But so what I did when I was young, I was always searching for holidays on the internet for hours, days long, and then I came to my dad like, look at this, I found this for X amount of money. Like, it was really cheap, real great value for what we get. And that's how I, as a young child, started. And later on, for my brother is a pilot. At that moment, he was flying for KLM, Dutch airline.
And when you turned 18, he gave you a present.
Yeah, he gave me a present of the festival ticket for open air Curacao. But what I was flying with him, basically for free. Not exactly. You have to pay an X amount of money. But I was actually quite nice experience in the cockpit with
cool.
my brother as co-pilot at that moment. So he was not really flying. He was there sitting behind the wheel when he's up in the sky. But nothing happened there. You're flying about the ocean. You don't see anything. It's just a flight to Curacao. There was like the picture I had. Blue water, white beaches, and turtles.
And turtles.
Swimming with turtles is something magical, and wherever I don't know, they are so calm and they're like peaceful, and it always reminds me to be calm and be in touch with the nature, because that I'm way more a nature person than a city person. I like Bangkok though, but that's more like environment to grind in. Same here, it's not nature anymore. It's like it's
but then you, especially in Canggu, and that's what I told you. And like the thing you do here is work in Canggu.
It's perfect for me. It's the perfect environment to work in, because you have overpriced gyms, way overpriced gyms. You got good food for a decent price if you look on the right places. The housing is getting more expensive. Like, you're paying, like what I'm paying now is €600 for just a guest house.
Yeah.
Going to pay a little bit more from the next couple of days because I need more space. But besides that, you have your. We are now in a co-working space, and
you meet like-minded people. It's good for your network, and
I meet a lot of people here, like who are doing the same, or I can teach them like my experience in ecom, because I have some. But also I try to have my ears open to listen to the person that have something I'm aiming for, like, oh, maybe that can help me. So I'm really open to connect with people this is a perfect place here, man.
Yeah, and especially like that video is online already, but I recorded the video that I'm technically broke again. Good stuff. And then I flew here to Canggu for two reasons. One, to connect with people and also to do the podcast because that's what I like. And also because money arbitrage, even though it's getting more expensive here, it's still cheaper than Amsterdam.
Yeah, then Amsterdam, yes.
I live
Spain,
in
no.
Yeah, in Netherlands I live in Amsterdam. So
Yeah. I'm for the people that want to know, I'm spending exactly 2.5K a month here. 2.5K.
yeah.
Here. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, I think
I'm alone, so I'm not sharing my house or anything. Or
I think really the place where you're staying in Canggu, it also really matters because you can go with a cool villa and everything. But I'm paying like for 1.5 months, the guest house I'm staying in right now, it's like 730, and it's fine. Like it's fine. It's not good. It's fine. It's good enough. It
I'm a little bit
bad.
of a luxury person. I'm the
Yeah.
So, but that's not where the most money goes. It's like more. I'm paying everything in there, like visa, my healthcare, insurance, all those things combined. You have them already in the, if you are staying in the Netherlands or whatever. But I was counting when I have a normal house, like a real house in Spain, I was cheaper than I spend my money here. But for example, I pay B-work here for, I think it's 200 a month for 3-month plans.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite a lot. But also not a lot because I'm spending like so many hours here.
Almost live here by now.
Yeah, no, like 100 hours a week is, I think, at this moment I was speaking, I'm doing that. We have a gym membership, 106 euros.
Fuck.
So those are like, those two together is 400 euros. And you can have that gym membership for Basic Fit in the Netherlands. It's like 30 euros. Like, you know, what else do we have? Food. You have to pay food. I'm paying around 20 euros a day about food.
Yeah.
Something like that. Then you have, for example, I went ill last week, 2 weeks ago. No, last week.
The Bali belly.
The Bali Belly.
Famous.
Yeah, it was really bad. I lost 5 kilograms in 3 weeks in Bali. Imagine that. But so you need to get to some health. I say that.
Yeah. Medical
cost.
Medical cost.
Everything around that like makes it even more expensive here than I was expecting earlier.
Fair enough. Like if you add up those costs, it will be more expensive as well.
But you have to do that because you're spending them.
Yeah.
So if you're not tracking them, that's where people are losing money.
Again, like going back to this, track your cost, get a notion.
Exactly, but that's exactly what I mentioned. Like that's why I'm tracking everything because I need to know. Okay, I need to make this amount of money. I know I'm making X amount of money in a month. It needs to be perfect, of course. Otherwise, I cannot survive here. But I need to know. Okay, this is the amount I have earned for my living, with all the structures of companies you can
think of.
You can, also, if you're doing it well, you spend your money, you don't have to pay that much taxes. But and then you have an X amount that you're keeping in the company to reinvest for goods, for content, for people to hire, to everything. You need to track everything. That's why everything is related to each other, in my eyes.
Yeah. Really need to do that more. It's a chaos at my tracking sheet.
Go sit down. It's like you can take care of it in if you're starting maybe 2 days. It's it's so helpful, man. It gives so much peace because earlier I didn't know. I really when I was traveling for the first time in Thailand or Bali, you are thinking you're traveling for cheap, but then you have the flight tickets, for example, visas, all those kind of things are add-ons. You don't count them in the first place. Everybody is like, okay, your accommodation is like this, your food is like this, and some activities are like this.
Yeah.
But there are so many more.
Yeah, and that's what you learn by experience, or when you listen to this, because then you just can listen. So okay, that's like the traveling part. That's like where you're thing for traveling start? Because that's where we were in Surrey, at Curaçao, when you saw the white beaches, the blue ocean from the trip that your brother gave you.
Yeah.
And then also, like, you did some drop shipping without knowing that you were drop shipping in between. And then...
Yeah, not a long period, but there was a period like I'm doing that, yeah.
Yeah. And then at some point, when you were 18, you got your first store.
Actually, I had to make a store for my education there at that period, and I'm not going to do things not meaningful. So I was like, okay, I have to make a store. Then let's make a real store, like start a real company. So I went to Rotterdam to get my license, my registration, and I was starting the store for traveling. Of course, I loved traveling. I was like, okay, I have to do something with it. I was selling what kind of things? Oh, kind of traveling, like air pillow for traveling, snorkel mask, those kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, everything what was related to
travel.
travel. So that was my first real store as an official company. Later on,
And then you also started in solar sales around that age?
Yeah,
or?
you have to do an internship, for your education, for your study.
I don't know, I never finished.
Okay. But you had to do an internship, and I was working there, and I was doing sales there for solar panels. At that period, it was like booming. Then I was also starting. Was it actually two? No. It was first I was selling working for as an internship. Then later on I was finished my education. Then I was working there for a year, yeah, something about that. Then I was starting like, okay, I don't want this, and I was like,
The 9 to 5.
yeah, like you go into the office and you wake up and you don't want to wake up because you have no purpose at that period.
Yeah.
It's just selling a little bit of earnings. Then in the weekend you can spend it. It was not my type of, still not, but.
That's like a crazy
And it's
connection.
okay. For some people, it's like I speak a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I like it, stability, and I know what's coming in. I need to know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to do."
Yeah, and for some people that's good.
It's totally okay.
And for some people, they want a bit more.
A little bit more, yeah, but yeah, if you want more, you have to put in the effort.
Definitely,
And
because
people don't do it that often.
that's funny, because most people who go to B-work here, they spend a crazy amount of time here when you compare that to office hours.
Oh yeah,
So you
If you
double
wanna
your
be-
hours
yeah,
for
yeah.
more freedom.
yeah. Sometimes
Because
for
you
less
don't-
money.
Most of the time with more risk, less money,
Yeah,
but you don't
for
want a
sure.
9 to 5.
Yeah,
That's actually, we're at the bad bargain there.
but you know.
You do it with a purpose. And that's the
Exactly.
big difference.
And you know why you are doing it, because you have a plan. You start it because you have a plan. I have a plan for the next 3-4 years, even 6. And I know where I want to go. And everything now is just the way to that goal. Even if some months you're making under a normal salary and sometimes more, but working 100 hours. If I count my hour rate, what I'm earning now, this moment, like in the bare month, it's less than a salary job.
How much would it be?
I don't know exactly, but it will be way less. I think it will be even on below the no. But I'm working like really, really a lot now. So
Yeah,
that's-
fair enough. Fair enough. Like, especially like, we're doing the podcast here. We rented out this room for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't earn a dime for this. Actually, I'm paying for this because I pay my video editor for this.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm broke in Bali. But that's a good deal. Like, it's fun. I would recommend it. It's good.
The thing is that the most valuable thing for me in this life is that I can decide what I want to do
Yeah.
that day. So I want to wake up, open my eyes and think, okay, today I want to do this, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
It's freedom. That's my core one value.
same. And I think that's why most people here connect, because they all have freedom bounded to their core value. Why else would they leave their own country to go somewhere else, do cool stuff? We both talked about that we still wanted to learn to surf here, and the weather is getting better, so that's good. But
Yeah, true.
so we can still learn how to surf. But I think that's the trait you make. Like things always come at a cost.
Yeah.
That's
I cannot
just
agree
things,
more. Like,
things always come.
everything is, you have to bring in the effort to get paid. You know, you have to. For example, if you want to be a pilot, you have to study a lot to become a pilot. So it's not like, oh, you know, I want to be a pilot. I'm a pilot now. No, you have to play flight simulator maybe on your computer, but that's how my brother started actually. But so if you want to be a pilot, do that. I love it as well. But you cannot be a doctor. You cannot be a therapist. How you say that?
Yeah, physiotherapy.
Yeah.
It's people know what you mean.
So you have to bring in. You cannot run a company without bringing effort.
Yeah, without sacrifice, without
It will fail.
without failure.
And
because,
even if you bring in the effort, it fails a lot.
yeah, because reaching to the point of failure. When you were working in solar, at some point you had another store where you sold like baby stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you pronounce that in English? No, it's like weird baby
Oh man.
things.
I don't know. Actually, it's a product where if you're young, a baby, they are putting it around everywhere you go. So if you have food, drinks, or whatever, you can put it in, and then it's like balancing all the time. You can maybe you can put it in the picture here. So I will send it to
Yeah.
you. So that's
like a food stabler for
for babies, but
That's-
it was a shitty
that's-
product. It was a shitty product, tell me, because they are going to throw it with it. You know, oh, it keeps saying, oh, we're going to throw it. I saw videos of people they are ordering, and it was like, oh yeah, look at this. My child like playing with it, and then I was like, okay, I'm throwing it, and then yeah, of course it falls out. You know, but the thing was, we were at Dropshipping at that period, and then you look into good angles. You look into products that are working well. You just want to make money. You want to learn. You want to earn money. So that first started in the Netherlands by myself, but I didn't speak English at all at the time. Before I was traveling, I didn't even know how to extend my staying. I was there Google translating, to search the word extending. I really didn't know. Sorry. Even now.
There you go. Still improve.
Still
learn by doing.
I think it's fine. You can listen to me, but then I was back home in January, where I was connecting with a business partner, and he was speaking English quite well, and he had an English store, and I was like, okay, I have a product, I have a very good video, let's push it to the world, worldwide shipping. USA, UK, Australia, all over the world, like thousands of things. That was where I felt I really was in heaven at that moment. I felt like I made it. I made it myself. You know, I had something, I found something. We were earning a lot, especially back in that days. And then COVID came in China. But were running 14 days straight with high budget ads, and PayPal. The factory were closed. Whole China was closed, and PayPal was like, "Oh, fuck you! I'm going to hold your money." So even the factories went open 2 weeks later. We could not ship the goods to the customers because it was dropshipping. So dropshipping means we first selling the product, then ship it to the customer. Then we are buying it from the supplier, especially. So we could not do that. But in the meantime, we were running ads. Tot that moment, it blocked. We quit everything, of course. But like 14 days with a high budget. Imagine the cost we had.
What's high budget in ads?
Thousands a day.
Thousands a day. Fuck.
So yeah, imagine that. Yeah, that wasn't. We were thinking we made money. In the end, we ended up with. I actually made 2K out of it over
The
Like
whole thing.
The whole thing, and it was a lot.
2K out of the whole thing because PayPal just thought,
And a
done
lot
with
of
you.
a lot of dropshippers. You know, I'm doing branding now, and a lot of dropshipping still experience the same with halls, everything. But that's just your business is fucked. Yeah, you don't have a good business then. Some people have sometimes an issue, yeah. So, but
I
most
mean,
of the guys,
they have holds for a reason, right?
exactly. So take care of your customer service. Take care of your delivering experience. Take care over the product you're shipping, and
Take care for your customer, actually.
actually, yeah, that's what brings you the money. If you take good care about your customers, so sell good product, and then people will be happy, and they don't mind that it takes longer to ship, and especially Netherlands is really weird in that. So they are expecting the same day delivery almost, but other countries like Spain, it's quite normal to have a week shipping time.
Yeah,
It's
but
normal.
I think in more southern countries, everything goes a bit slower in
Yeah.
that way, and that makes it fine. But I don't know, the Netherlands and Germany as well.
Germany as well, but-
they are known for how strict they
As
are.
long as long
As lang.
as long you communicate with the customer by emails and keep them updated, then it's fine.
Yeah,
But
just
you also have struggles with your supplier that is not shipping the goods directly, and that's like shit. You have to
Yeah.
be really doing business with China and direct business to them. Man, it's like crazy, man. Even your experience when I was there in November for business. What you see, I didn't know China was that rich. They are so rich.
yeah.
They are like insane rich.
How do you see that?
Like the cars, the people, the stores, how they do, how they spend money. Even the buildings, it's super luxury.
So that's funny because most
I'm
people
talking
have
about
a-
the cities, eh? So I was in Shanghai at that moment, and Yiwu, that's where the factory is. Yiwu also got really good places, expensive places, but the cars in Shanghai, like Lambos, Rolls Royce, Porsches, everywhere, Ferraris.
That's crazy because the Western view of China is like, well, everything is shit there.
They are
and
way
it's-
ahead of us.
That's
That's what I have experienced, at least what I saw.
and the more people you meet, same with Russia though. If you hear a lot, there are a lot of Russians here as well, and I've talked to a couple of them, and it's the same there. Like the perspective people have on Russia right now with the war and everything that's going on, it's that they're really into deep shit. But actually, it's not that bad in the country
It's
itself.
how it's framed in the media.
Yeah, and I think that's the same with China. So meet people all over the world and see what the world is actually like.
Go there. Simply
Go there, yeah, just go there.
I don't know if I want to go to Russia, but you know, places like China, I did it for the experience. I was like, I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to know where I'm sending money over to them a lot, and but without knowing where I'm speaking with. For example, they don't speak English at all, nothing. Like the bare amount
Bare
of
minimum.
people, bare minimum, speaking English there, or can understand you and don't speak it, but can understand. I had a presentation. I was making a presentation for 2 days, 3 days, how we can grow the business. I want to do a presentation to my supplier. I came there. He didn't speak a word of English. He cannot understand me, nothing. So everything was by phone, only translating. Yeah, bro, how can I go with my plans?
How did you do that? How did you manage? You just left the whole
I
presentation.
left it like I tried to negotiate some things, but they cannot understand me. They don't have this. They do what they are asked for, and that's it. So they thinking inside the lines and not outside the box.
So actually, if you really, really want a big advantage in the world, learn Mandarin.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or go there with a translator.
But that's also risky because you don't know
Exactly.
what the translator is actually saying.
The best way is to learn it. I'm never gonna do that because I'm really bad at languages and I'm struggling with
With English already.
No, English is fine, but I want to learn Spanish because I want to only live in Spain later on. But if you go to China, and I'm trying to partner up with some guys there that I know earlier, Chinese people. They are a business owner and they speak English. Then you can achieve something. You have advantages against everyone in the world because shipping from China, it can be fast. It can be in 3 days. I had just an order like past week. An order arrived in 3 days from China to the Netherlands.
That's really quick.
So it is not a problem to have everything there. You can ship from world to worldwide, cheap rates. You have no storage cost. You have no waiting time for your goods to arrive in your country. It's really great to have a business there.
I know Daniel Dale.
Yeah,
You also, he's doing a great job, like setting up a whole supplement center there and everything, because he speaks fucking
those guys,
Chinese.
Yeah, those guys I'm looking against up, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, but it's crazy what those guys are building. But it's the same. Like, so then you traveled. You did backpacking to Thailand at some point for 4 weeks, but that was after the whole baby thing, right?
No, in between.
Or in between.
In between.
In between, you did
I
the-
made my first money with dropshipping. Then I was quitting my job. Then I was traveling. Then I started the other shop with the business partner. Skyrocketed it. Bankrupt.
all the failures.
Yeah,
you can think
but
of.
then people made a lot of money during COVID, and as I was starter, I didn't know exactly what to sell. I didn't. That's what you learn by just experience and just along the years you're passing by. And I was struggling a lot with that. I was struggling a lot, so I failed. We had a baby store, failed. Then in the summer, I was like, okay, my money is going to run out. I have to take job back, and that's okay. You failed and you tried, and as long as you stand up one more time later, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I went back to the solar panel job as a salesperson. Worked there for 1 year, but the last 1.5 year, but the last half year was like more doing the bare minimum and then working on my own company. And that was just drop shipping, etc. And once the moment I hit an X amount of money, I was like, okay, I'm going to quit. So I quit my job. That was in, I guess...
How was that time though? That you were in the Netherlands, doing the solar sales still, doing the bare minimum, and also working on your business.
Yeah. How was it?
Just doing the work.
Yeah, you're just doing it. I don't know. Sometimes you don't have to think. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it and don't think about it too much. And that period was boring somewhere because you're working your ass off like 40 hours. Oh no, I was 32. I had actually 1 day off.
But then you were working on your store in a day off.
No, actually, no. That was the only day I was like really back off, like really tired. And that was a moment like, okay, it's breaking my week. I take my rest here, going to the gym just a little bit. And I was actually working more at my job, on my own company, than I'm spending in my free time. Also in the weekends I was working a lot, but it was not a hustle of like now, not a grind like now. Like now you spend like real hours. And there's like, it takes your energy if you're working for a job.
Yeah, definitely.
If you do something that you don't like, it takes a lot of energy. So you have to recover from that.
Well, even if you do something you like, because right now in the evening I'm doing all the sales as a sales and marketing consultant for the Dutch company, software company. And before that, I'm working on the business, and in between I'm recording the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's what my day looks like right now.
But it's fun though.
It's
Sometimes
really fun.
it's
It's really fun, but it also takes a lot of energy. So I get what you mean with that. Even if you like what you do, because I like doing the software sales as a sales and marketing consultant, it still takes you a lot of energy because it shifts your focus. And my goal for this year is really simple: just focus on the podcast and get the business up and running. Those are two goals, like nothing more. And at some point leave the other company.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I had something in my mind that I forget because I had some itching. Then go ahead. I don't know. Maybe come later. Yeah,
So-
maybe you have to talk about the shining object syndrome.
Yeah, because how was that? Was that also in the period where you did the solar sales? The shiny object syndrome?
It's always there. It's always there. So if whatever you're doing, if you're starting a new company, like I heard a lot of stories. I experienced myself when I was teaching other guys ecom, but I'm never going to do that again to starters because like they are motivated, but not motivated at all. They just want to make some money, but think that it's coming with no effort. They have no idea, really no idea. I had 60, 80 students, only one, and he's a very good friend now of mine. He's in Cape Town. Only one I saw potential. Like he's going to make it. That's crazy. Like how many people are thinking I'm going to do something, and then, but also with that comes with assigning the object when they starting, or maybe you are starting, is like the grass is not greener on the other side. If you are focusing, every business model is working. Everywhere where I'm looking around is money made. This year is selling books, shoes, a cup, everything. You can do whatever you want.
Everything is a business.
Everything is a business, as long as you can make it work, of course. But you need to focus on that. And people are like, and even I have still the shining object syndrome with crypto or anything that I have. Once you make money, you think, oh, I can multiply it with that. No, fuck it. Do whatever you are good at. Focus on one thing. If that is e-com or affiliate marketing or YouTube automation, everything is working. Everything.
It's just that you are not working.
Yeah, put in the effort.
Put in the effort,
grind.
put in the hours, and don't be the jack of all trades. Like being a jack of all trades in your learning phase in the beginning, it's fine because you learn like a lot of meta skills.
Yeah.
From the moment I did some YouTube automation, I learned a lot of stuff about AI that I now implement in the company that I'm building. From the moment that I stuck with sales most of the time, but that's the thing. Like you're just doing that, and in between you have the meta skills that you build, and when you stop being a jack of all trade, those skills become in handy without you knowing it.
We are talking. I think it was
Sometimes.
before the podcast was that we are talking about things we are good at. Was it in the podcast already?
No, I think not.
No, it was like I was telling my dad, like, if I have to take a job right now, what should be my expertise? Because we are doing so many things. You're building. You have to hire people. You have to build an operational system. You have to take care of the customer service. You have to take care of the supplier. You have to do the marketing. You have to do after sales, and probably missing some things there. Everything comes with its struggles, like an operational, like your whole business operation. It comes with so many things, so many.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm good at. Yeah, marketing. I'm focusing. I've learned. I don't know if someone was learning that, or you need to be there on the place where the most money flows. So in my case, it's marketing. I spend a lot of money on marketing each month, each day. Suppliers, so the cost of goods. What else do we have? Those two things. If you have control of that, that's like 99% of the money.
Yeah, so you're
The rest
Raymond
should be profit. You know? No,
should be.
Well, that's where I've learned a lesson. But even that, you can, for example, last Q4, I didn't do anything a month. That's weird because I had outsourced everything. I did maybe 5-10 hours a week. Everything was running well, and we had record months every month. That's weird because I fired them. That's weird.
You had record months, but you fired everyone.
I wasn't satisfied.
Why?
Could be bigger.
So now you hired new people?
No, myself.
Everything yourself?
Yeah. Two reasons why I did that is because I was expecting slow months. As my previous experience was like January, February, March were really slow months. But now January went a little bit different. I didn't expect that, but quite a good month. But because of Chinese New Year, we have to stop all the advertisement. We were on the way into a record month. That's crazy. On January for me, after Q4. Never had that experience, besides the baby shit. But,
Yeah, but that was...
so I was expecting, okay, I'm going to Bali. I have a lot of time. So make advantage of the time. And I was not 100% satisfied about the marketing. Because if you have a winning ad, I make 300 ads variants about that one specific ad. And they are making like 5 variants. It can be way bigger. It can be growing. If you're testing 300 ads, let's say how I start normally is I have 4 concepts. Then we have like 7 colors are lagging. So 1 static times 4. Do I say that? 7 × 4 is already 32. And then making a bunch of variants. So we end up 300 ads. We test them. After testing, maybe 10, 20 potential winning ads. But if you're testing 2 for 10 ads, you maybe have 1, maybe.
Just increase volume.
Yeah, increase volume, and I was not satisfied about that. So that's why I switched that to myself. And once I got control, once the structure is optimized, the way of working, like how do we test? That's not difficult, but how do we create the content? That's the most difficult part in all my business.
Yeah, especially because that's the creative part.
Yeah.
And creativity is really hard to find and really hard to buy.
Especially buying, like I want to hire, of course, people, influencers, not really, like UGC creators.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Some people are crazy thinking that they can charge whatever. If they are good, they are allowed to charge. But some people starting asking 200 euros for a video. Bro, if you don't have any proof or anything, what the hell should I pay you 200 euros?
Then for the UGC creators who are watching, create a value proposition. Why is it worth to... why
invest? What I still do, what I always propose is that I'm sending you goods. I will pay for that if like a minimum. Prove what you can do with that. As long you bring results, we will always rehire you, and then you can negotiate.
Yeah, but at first, like,
you have to
show some numbers. And that's what I meant with creative value proposition. If you can show some numbers to a company that you did for quite a similar project, these numbers, you have some proof to build up your pricing. But if you don't have proof to build up your pricing or to ask for a higher price, you have no right of speaking.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why, and
that's also sales.
But yeah, but it's really hard to find those people and to structure that in the company. That's also really hard because you have to write scripts. You know how to write scripts, but
it's hard.
Analyzing
writing a good script, it's.
I would say that's where I'm struggling the most with is if I have a video and that's performing decent, how can I make it winning?
Yeah.
You have no idea sometimes. Okay, and if you have a good video that's performing really well, how can I duplicate it in 10, 20, 100 same hook ads? To create that system, you outplay every business everywhere. You can do it with every product you're gonna sell.
And that's the thing you told before we hit the record button, because after this conversation you said, we should hit the record button.
Yeah.
And then we hit the record button. You said, like, if you create the systems and the workflows and everything, and if you know how to do that, you can just duplicate it and quantify it.
Yeah.
And
That's how people do it as well. I just have it by one. My full attention is to make this like a multi-million company, and everything what we are doing now is building a system, operational system, supplier system, how to organize the advertising. It's a system. Everything it comes with a system.
And that's a really crazy thing to comprehend, because I was a guest on another podcast when I was in Madeira, and it was uploaded yesterday, so I was listening back to it. And at some point, quote myself now, it's strange, but at some point it came out that everything is a network of people built on systems. No matter what you do, like, we bought a coffee at the co-working today. Like, we bought a coffee. Well, you have your credits, I need to buy. Fuck you for that. But we bought a coffee at the co-working today. And that's a system with people, with a network of people. They had the beans, they have the equipment, they imported everything, they calculated all the margins, and we don't want to do that effort. So then we go there and we just buy it. But it's a system combined with a network of people.
How I see that, if you talk about duplicating your business, so let's say you have one business going well and you want to do another business on the side, I will always recommend to do in the same style as you are currently doing. So in my case, I'm selling leggings, activewear for a woman only, and I will always keep selling something, because the system keeps exactly the same. The only thing is how you do the things in the system. So what will be different is the creative part of marketing. You are using different products, you are using different angles, you are doing, but the way of testing is keeping the same.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a product, you're going to the supplier, you go visiting, when are you going to negotiate the price? Keeps the same.
Now you know you need to bring a translator.
Yeah, you need to speak English at least. No, but for communication, yeah, man, I really recommend to have or a translator or someone who speaks English, because
In China, it's hard to find.
it's really hard to find, yeah.
And they don't listen to this because
No, they
don't speak
English. No, some are learning, but those are way ahead of the rest of China.
Yeah, so it's crazy to think about that. Speaking English in China is like your advantage there.
You can be a millionaire instantly.
And if you're speaking English and learning Chinese,
Should be. Look at Daniel Dada.
Yeah,
He's
fair enough.
achieving. That's exactly what I mean. Even Chinese people like have the willing to learn to do something related to whatever he wanted to do. If he connect the Western world to the Eastern world.
but that's only what you realize when you travel. That's the thing that you realize when you're traveling.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know. I have
Or
no idea.
when you listen to this, but because I'm curious, because you travel a lot. You travel to Bali, Mexico, Thailand,
Guatemala, Belize,
Malaysia,
Malaysia,
you lived
Philippines.
you lived in Portugal
Portugal
as well.
Philippines.
What are the things you learned by traveling?
Poor. That's really hard to say, man. That's really hard. I think,
One of them is English.
yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, but that's a good one though, because it's my work, it's my everything now. What I've learned, it's not easy. Nothing is easy. The times you spend alone, laying in bed, thinking about what the hell should you do now. Man, you don't know what you don't know. I have no idea what I've learned exactly on traveling. Can you give an example?
Well, one thing is that it's brighten your world perspective.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And when I have a discussion with my mom, for example, right now, she is really like, she's in the Netherlands. Her source of consuming is the news. And then sometimes she talks about Trump, or she talks about things in China or things in Russia. And she just has no clue. Because the only thing she sees is like the Western media. But when you talk to people, when you travel, and when you actually speak to Chinese people, when you actually speak to Russian people, you know what's going on from someone who lives it, instead of the framed perspective of the news, and also about cultures and everything. Like, traveling really, really widens your perspective.
Yeah. Also, the culture of people is way different. So we as Dutch people, we are very straightforward and
really fucking direct.
Yeah, but to my supplier, I'm so direct. I want a clear communication. I'm not good at communication, I have to say. I'm not good at it. But if I want to have something organized, I be super directly, because otherwise it will be a mess. Like, maybe you can do this. No, go fucking do it. Organize this.
Do it. At what time frame? When is it done?
Yeah, do whatever you need to do. Simple.
Yeah.
But so, I want to give one golden nugget for people who want to learn things, new businesses, for e-commerce, especially now. What I'm doing when I'm learning, I'm learning a lot on Twitter of X, formerly Twitter. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Twitter. It's Twitter. People know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Elon Musk owns it.
again. Especially if you want to learn something on e-com or whatever business model, if you go to Twitter, it's like a gold mine of knowledge. If you go to YouTube, everything that is there, everything is there already. There are thousands, maybe millions of people who have done that already. And to keep up to date, like for example, e-com, things how to test CRO, so optimizing your store, everything is in Twitter. If you follow the right persons, your feed will be only optimized to learn. So use it in a good way instead of like addicting shit.
Especially because the previous guest, Andre, he built his personal brand on Twitter. And before the podcast, I will do some research about someone, and he told me he had his personal brand on Twitter. And then I looked, and there's like, he shows exactly what he is doing at CRO.
Bro,
conversion rate optimization.
Everything is there.
And he normally asks for clients. He asks like 8K a month. But you can just learn.
And he's telling the same thing. The only thing what makes it different, that's what you have to learn, how to implement that. How to implement that what you see that's working for someone else in your business. Hire people, but
and you do that by studying it. And you do that by learning it.
What I'm doing, like for example, if I scrolling on Twitter, let's say X, easier. If I'm scrolling on X and I see someone is posting the famous reply with skill, and I will send you a doc with 100 prompt for ChatGPT. Or for a CRO optimization.
Yeah, just a free
thing. You don't have to do anything. It's free. You can learn. Okay, then I have something from the store. Let's take the CRO. I see a tool like for benefits for your goods you're selling. Okay, but that is working for him. But how can I implement that in my case? I don't know how to install that. So I have people working with me, like developers, that I'm showing screenshots. I built in Canva. I just copied what's working for others. I want this there. I want this here. I want to do this here. And then she is going to implement it in the business. And then we are running tests to look if it's working, optimizing or not. That's how I implement it from X to my shop.
Just literally copy paste.
Yeah. Why don't invent
Reinvent the wheel
reinvent the wheel if you're.
if it's already spinning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how in my eyes. You should do
I
it.
think like we can talk on for many hours
Yeah.
about all of these things. I don't know how long we
Exactly
actually
12.
talked.
I don't know.
Nice.
Me neither.
But I think we call it a wrap for now because we covered a lot of things. I think we delivered on the hook that we stated in the beginning. So then, Raymond, I wanna, or yeah, you have
No,
something else?
now the one thing, like I love ecom. I love everything around it. I want to dive deep in it with how to run the ads, how to optimize your store, or. But I feel this moment this is the first podcast, and I was always like, okay, I don't want to come out with my brand. I'm running it in the background. I know the numbers. I know how we are doing in 2 years. What we have built is crazy, but can be way more crazier. So once I feel I'm ready to review everything, to build a personal brand as well, I want to go dive deeper and deeper about how you set up your whole store, how to do the real golden nuggets. Like the Twitter I give, many people don't know how
Yeah.
to learn. How do you learn that? Where do you get that? Twitter, YouTube. Just watch it. YouTube, they know probably. Look, you have 2 screens. One on the right side, one on the left side. One is YouTube tutorial, how to run ads. Left, your ads, running the ads. You know,
I mean, that's it.
That's how you learn, and that's how takes hours.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
So what was the thing? What you were pointing towards something?
Now that I want to go dive deeper later in what I'm really doing. This was more like a life story about who I was, and later I want to go dive deeper. Maybe in other podcasts.
When would you say your brand is at a point it's want to come out?
To be honest, millions.
But at what point you want to build your personal brand? Like if you put a time frame on it.
I was thinking once sold the first company. Then I will say, then I have to prove like, okay, I've done it all now, like from 0 to selling the company. So I got that experience.
So let's make an agreement. If you're there, no matter where you are in the world,
I'm selling it in between 4 and 6 years. I'm selling it.
I'm planning to do this for another 10, so it's fine. Like it's a hobby. I fucking love doing this.
That's true.
So let's make the agreement that from the moment you're there, or from the moment you want to build your personal brand around everything, no matter where we are in the world, we're just gonna hit each other up. We connect.
It's a good way, though.
And then
it's a really good way to show in podcast and show you, explore the world. I said, no, I'm not saying that right. Show the world who you are, what you're doing.
Definitely.
It's the best way.
So let's make an agreement on that.
Let's do that.
That's good. It's on camera, so
Yeah, for sure.
now we do it. And if you have to say one last thing to the one who is watching, what would that be said? What would that be?
Oh, it can be many things, to be honest, like what we have discussed already. But if I have to pick one thing, it's about traveling, like living abroad. That will be for sure my life. My advice to you is to go out, explore the world, and see what you really like to do. So, do you like to be free and start your own business, or do you want to have a stable job and have some side trips? That's also possible. It's all okay, but go to the other side of the world. Go to other places, connect with people, and then you're learning so many lessons. I think
By doing.
yeah, and it's
Right.
fun though. It's really fun,
It's really fun.
and have it in the same time sometimes.
Yeah, but that's life.
That's life.
That's life. All right. Then I would say like, subscribe, all that crap. I leave links down below. Visionaries, I hope this was worthwhile for you, and I check you later. Ciao.